especially for those of you who really want to be a millionaire and you're not just talking. If you're just talking, then there's a club for that. They look great. They wear all the t-shirts to say that they're a boss and they're doing nothing. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the person behind you.
Because I really don't know what I would do if I didn't have some work that I had to get to.
For those of you who are wondering, what does it mean? It's the movers and the shakers always doing something. If you want to be in balance and get some more green, WorkHARDAholics. Hello, hola, ¿cómo estás? I am very excited to come to you all this week with WorkHARDAholics. Okay, before we even go there, some of you might be new. Welcome, bienvenido. You might be wondering exactly what is a WorkHARDAholic. Since I made the word up, I will happily tell you. A WorkHARDAholic is someone who is always doing something. We don't rest on our laurels. We don't wait for the world to bring it to us. We take it to the world. This is where I would normally turn to Christina and she would break into taking it to the streets. But she's not there to do that just yet. All righty then. So who am I? I am Shirley Crawford, the original WorkHARDAholic, once again, because I made the word up. You get those kind of privileges in that case. I have been doing small business consulting for over 25 years. Yes, those gray hairs are legit. Small business consultant, the executive director of the Women's Business Center, RVA, located in Richmond, VA, USA. But that's not where I am today. Hey, that rhymed. Did anyone else have my rapping moment? Okay. As a WorkHARDAholic, here's the deal. We're always doing something is always going on. I know for me, it started, were always asking, like, didn't I see that you were at that festival? Didn't you write that article? And didn't I see you get interviewed? And aren't you doing this work? And, but wait a minute, don't you do stuff at your church? Aren't you doing like, oh my God, what are you doing? And so that's the life of a WorkHARDAholic. We do more than the average bear. We take the same 8 hours and we make magic happen. That's what we do. But here's the deal. As a WorkHARDAholic, sometimes we forget about ourselves. We forget about taking care of us. We take care of business, but you got to also take care of you if you want to live long enough to enjoy the benefits of all that hard labor. And so we come together every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to help you learn how to work hard, play harder, and business better. And right now, recently anyway, I have been unfortunate in being able to share with you all the negative examples of the lifestyle of a WorkHARDAholic. But today, I get to share with you all what it's like to be a good, dare I say it, a great WorkHARDAholic. Because where am I? ¿Dónde estás? Where are you? Where am I? I am currently in Puerto Rico. Whoop, whoop. Loquillo, Puerto Rico to be exact. And I'm still coming to you all because I promised that we would still have WorkHARDAholics, and we shall. Even though for everyone else, I am currently on vacation. Yes. At first I was singing, I'm going on vacation. Now I'm singing, I am on vacation. I am on vacation. I am on vacation. Wish you were on vacation. Okay. It's a good life. It's a good life. And so, because here's the deal, right? Especially right now, most of you are working remotely. There's no reason that you can't stop, drop, and roll right in the sand of the beach. And so if you can't hear it, because I tried to put the noise suppression on, the beach for me, La Playa, is like a block away. It's not even a full block away. And when we are done, because this is the only work that I'm doing today, I am going back to the beach, thus the swimming attire. I'm heading back to La Playa, but I wanted to stop in and hang out with my WorkHARDAholic friends. So, hey, there's my commitment to you. All righty then. So every week we generally start off with our word for the week. And I always explain why that's important. So I'm going to explain again. Here's the deal, right? I don't know about, have any of you all ever been in a situation where you're having a conversation with someone and you're kind of in what we like to call intense fellowship? A little bit argumentative. And then you come to the end only to realize that you all were saying exactly the same thing, except for one of you either used the word incorrectly, had a different interpretation, something. It was something in the way that you all communicated that you didn't understand one another. And I was always taught when I used to do debate and when we first started public speaking, that if your audience doesn't understand, then you said nothing. Like, period. The end. You're speaking for your audience. And so if your audience didn't get it, then you spoke for nothing. Like, nunca, nada, zero. There was no value to it. Right. So with that in mind, we share our word for the week. Our word for this week is peregrination. Peregrination. That's Peregrination. And it was very fitting for this week because it's all about a journey, meandering, especially on foot. So if someone in Australia, they say they take a walkabout. It's a journey. And so, of course, I am on my journey to relaxation, my journey to maximizing my physical potential so I can come back and have the mental capacity to be all that I can be. I mean, not in the army, but it's a good theme that they have going on there. So peregrination. Feel free to use it in a sentence. Today, tomorrow, next week, whenever. But peregrination. Feel free to peregrinate. Like, for real. It's time to like take a trip, take a break, do a journey, do something. There's no excuse now. So it used to be like really hard to like pack up the office. At this point, I've talked to you like in our time tool techniques in the past about remote accessing your computer, right? So that means you could be able to access your files and not have to lug your computer with you. Although, of course, I do have my laptop. I also have my brand spanking new sweetheart baby iPad Pro. I love her. I love her so much. And so, yeah, of course I have. And because I'm in the PR, I do have like my phone and I have a lot of gadgets. I have more gadgets than I have clothes with me. Who needs clothes at the beach? I mean, it's not a nudist beach. I just need bathing suits, really, is all I'm saying there. Don't get too many ideas. And so, like, yeah, even for like the phones work here. But just as a note to all of you WorkHARDAholics, right? I am the absent-minded professor. I just have always been. And so I left my personal phone in the cab. So when I got here Saturday night, and it's now Wednesday, my phone has been with the taxi driver because the airport is like over an hour away from where I am. And so I'm not going to get it back until I'm about to get back on the plane is when I get back my phone back. And I think it was God's way of saying, you told people you were not available for a week, mean it. And so I haven't been able to take any personal calls. If you called me, I haven't ignored you, although I should have been ignoring you. But really, my phone is not with me. I have my work phone, which I do turn off and all that good jazz. All right, because I'm enjoying my peregrination. Okay, I'll geek out all by myself. All right, then. On that note, we always like to talk about our book it moment. And so for this week in particular, I've been really focused on like just getting here. And so I don't know how many of you all have traveled to places that you've never been before. And I don't actually know, I don't believe that I know anyone here in Puerto Rico, but I can't really say it because I didn't really dig that deep. I do have Puerto Rican friends, but they're all in Virginia to the best of my knowledge. But I'm not here like really to socialize. Like I really just need some downtime. Like you have to know you. I know I needed downtime, but I've never been here before. So this is my first time coming to Puerto Rico. And as I always say, I can give you a tour of Paris, but I don't know anything about Puerto Rico. And so in coming here, I did a little research, but I did the basic research to figure out like where to stay, transportation, which is a whole other thing all unto itself. I always like to check the customs because, especially as a woman, you need to, yeah, unfortunately, you need to know like, are you going to a misogynistic area? Like, there are certain places in the world where you can't have your hair showing, like for real, let alone cleavage or any of the other stuff y'all are doing. And so, rather than incite a riot, I like to study the culture to know the basics. How do you contact the police? Do they have a good safety record? All that good stuff. What kind of money do they take? Where do you convert the money? Like all that kind of information. What language do they speak? And are you go? Is it a touristy area? If it's a touristy area, then more than likely the water is safe. The water can be safe. And if it's a touristy area, more than likely they speak English. Now, it's just like in France. If you're in Paris, English speakers all over the place. But the moment you leave Paris and go to any of the like rural areas, English is maybe spoken, but more than likely, not so much. All right. And so it's all those kind of things that you need to know. So, with that in mind, for our book it moment this week, I want to share a guide. Right. So I always say, so this one is for Laquio. Actually, this one is for it's for Puerto Rico in general. I have this one is specifically one that is for Laquio. And Laquio is lovely if you ever want to visit. It's a lovely beach area. And that's all I wanted was beach. And so like this one actually has like the police number, all that information, places to go. This one has a list of all that touristy kind of stuff, right? And so here, like you're wondering, like why? Like normally our books are like books, but 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 I really want you all to think about the fact that before you are about to embark on a journey, you should be doing as much research as you can, right? And books are our friends, not our enemies. And this is a pretty this one is really thick, but it goes through like maps and regions all throughout Puerto Rico and all kinds of information that you might want to know. For me to come here, I actually watch a bunch of YouTube videos and all kinds of stuff. And in part because there I want to do some more. I want to do more in Puerto Rico other than just vacation. I want to do some other things here. And so I've been doing my homework, my tarea. See how I'm bringing up all my Spanish words? I thought I only knew three. They're coming back to me. They're coming back. And so, with that in mind, wherever you're going, and I mean this figuratively, literally, and metaphorically, wherever you're going, it behooves you. It benefits you greatly to do the homework, to do the research, to find out as an entrepreneur if you're about to start a new venture. Right. So like I'm always saying like your pain point is an opportunity point. And so it might be that I know for me, one of my biggest, like being here in Puerto Rico, it's it there have been I had a bunch of little things, like things you might not have known, but I had read and seen before I got here. I still didn't know the workaround for. I talk about transportation, right? I did not. I looked at renting a car from the airport when I was back in the mainland. Puerto Rico is a part of the United States, so I'm still in the United States. It's just a territory of the United States. And so I was looking at renting a car. Right, simple enough because that's what I know. I want to roam. It's not that large of an. It's an island. Oh God, I want to be able to compare it to the size of Virginia, but I've already forgotten. Um, it's like 11 times smaller than the state of New York, if that means anything to you. But it's still decent size. But it can be, I think, from one coast to the other is probably depending on what part of the coast you're coming from. But the shortest distance from one coast, like I'm on the east coast right now of Puerto Rico. On the west coast, I think it's like 4 hours, right? Something like that to get from one side to the next. And And so I was like, well, cool. I can get a car. I can go exploring and seeing stuff. And it was like $1,000. And I was just like, I'm not really that interested. But then I got here and I was like, I really kind of do. I wanted to go visit another business location that's on the other side, and which is 3 hours. It's 3 hours from where I am, 3.5 hours from where I am now, because they're on the West Coast. And to get a taxi to go there, the taxi from the airport to here, which was just an hour, was and a little over an hour from the San Juan Luis Manos Internacional to Laquillo, just a little over an hour, $80. Uh, if you find a bunch of people going, maybe you can get it for 60, but $80. And because it's not to a hotel, so there's no shuttle. Anyway, I am literally a block from the beach. And so if you can imagine that's an hour, I guess you can imagine to triple that if I'm going over 3 hours. And for me, that's a rental car for the weekend home. So anyway, that's all part of things you wouldn't know. So you might not have known, like, Uber does run here, but it generally runs in San Juan. It doesn't really run outside of San Juan. And so it's stuff like that that if you take the time to figure out, like, the guides, the information that people are providing for you. And a lot of times in our businesses, we're plotting, we're planning, we're trying to get things done, but we don't want to heed the manual. So it's one thing to be able to come up with a creative iteration of something, to modify, to update, to make something better, but it's something else altogether different when you want to ignore what exists under the assumption or presumption that what you're creating is better. And that's like hubris to its, or arrogance to its worst extent. One of the things that I hate, because as a consultant, my job is generally to come into a business and to sit down with that business owner and say, okay, here are the ways that you need to improve. Here's your timeline. Here's what you should be looking at. Here are things you need to know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I do not walk into someone's business and, having been there for 10 minutes, and go, oh, I know what your problem is. That's not how it works. I study, I research, I figure out about their industry in particular, about their area, their geography, and I get all this information about their sidewalk traffic, their customers, the training of their staff. So that's team information. Like, I get all this information, and then I go through a bunch of boring reports, because you got to dig down deep. And then when I have all that information, then I add observation to my information. And that is how I create the results of my consultation. Okay, I didn't want to bore you to death with that. But the point is that if you're going to go, I want you to go, be brave, and have a great time. But there's nothing wrong with a little bit of planning. That's all I'm saying. All right, so now that I've given you all this excitement with my tour guide books and everything else that I highly recommend, there's information for you. Be guided. We're about to hear a word from our sponsors. For those that make this possible, we say thank you for supporting WorkHARDAholics.
Ladies, are you looking to move your office from your kitchen table to a space of your own? Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Are you looking for co-working and community? Well, then come join us at the Women's Business Center, RVA, located at 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100, directly across the street from the Kroger at Willow Lawn. Visit us on the web at wbcrva.com or on social media at WBCRVA. When you're ready for more than just office space, come join the WBCRVA family.
Welcome back. Alrighty then. If at any point you would like to be a sponsor of the WorkHARDAholics Show, just drop us a line at admin@WorkHARDAholics. That's WorkHARDA WorkHARDaholics.com. I've been trying to think in Spanish, and I haven't really spoken Spanish since 1988. Oh my God, I'm so old. Yeah. Oh no, 1990. Let me stand corrected. Yeah, outside of that, I might say hola. And that's been the extent of it. So I've been very excited and proud of myself because Puerto Rico is the perfect place for you to practice Ooh, a lot of P's. Your Espanol, because the people are very nice and tolerant. And most of them speak English and Spanish. It is a part of the United States. And so my favorite conversation so far is that there's a young lady at Williams Pizza, which doesn't sound very Spanish at all, but that's what it's called. And I guess pizza isn't really Spanish anyway. Pizza is Mexican, Italian. Sorry. Anyway, the lovely young lady, I spoke to her in Spanish. She spoke to me in English. So that way I was clear that she understood what I said, and she was clear that I understood what she said. It was really nice. I wouldn't mind doing that more often. Like, I will speak of the Spanish, you speak of the English. That was cool. Okay, anyway. So now it's time for our Socialita business check-in. Checking. So normally now we share, and say hi to business owners and to other individuals who either checked in on our page, checked in on our social media, or who we just happen to be aware of. And so, of course, giving a shout out to the Imagine Media Lab, who is holding it down. I need you all to know once again, Christina, who is the proprietor and the producer of the show, she sent me off to Puerto Rico with this lovely condenser mic. I didn't even notice what it was called. And she gave me instructions on what I was supposed to do to set up to make sure that everything is where everything is supposed to be. I did neglect to bring a ring light. Sorry. But other than that, there's so much sun. I just didn't think I would. Okay, sorry. So the Imagine Media Lab, which can help you to do your own podcast, help you with your vlogs, with your audiobooks, with your commercials. Did you see that commercial that played a little while ago? That's the Imagine Media Lab. Whoop, whoop, yeah. Isn't it pretty? It's a lovely commercial. And so whatever the creative output that you're looking to have done, that's who you want to work with. Even now, while I'm in Puerto Rico, I am still able to bring to you all this show with the assistance of the Imagine Media Lab. And of course, a big shout out to the Women's Business Center, WBCRVA.com, where you can learn to start, sustain, and succeed in business. You women entrepreneurs, you. All right. I know I'm making some other shout outs, but I want to give a local shout out. And I mean local as into where I am. I am currently in Puerto Rico. I'm in Loquillo, Puerto Rico, which is to the east of San Juan. And it's the East Coast. So it's literally like boom on the water. And oh my God, the water, the agua. I needed this more than I could. I think I really need to stay for a month. I'm not, don't worry. If you're watching and you're a client, don't worry, I'm not staying for a month. No, I'm coming back. I have to come back. Okay, but I'm digging it. So on one of my mini strolls, I went to La Fonda Gourmet. Like La Fonda, excuse me. La Fonda Gourmet. The gourmet kept throwing me off because gourmet is a French word. Do they say gourmet in Spanish too? Okay, anyway. ATN and his wife run the joint. And oh my God, it was wonderful. Muy bueno. It was, excelente. It was so good. I had the mofongo. And I've heard lots of people talk about mofongo, but I've never had it. And I'm a firm believer, like when you travel someplace, you should always try the local cuisine. I have yet to give myself up to the courage to eat escargot, like not in the shell, like you're supposed to, I can't do it. I can't do it. Or like for Louisiana, they have what do they call? You shuck it and suck it. you're supposed to bite the head off. That's just outside of that, I'll try it. I don't like food that looks back at me. That's me. So I don't like fish. Like in Haiti, they love to serve the fish with the eye cooked. But it's the eye. And they eat it. Okay, not everybody. But like normally within a group, there's always one person who will eat the eye. Not I. Yeah. So all that to say, I'm a firm believer in trying, local cuisine. So I had the mofongo camarones. It was outstanding. It was amazing. But the thing that would so that's Le Fondo Gourmet. That's here in Loquillo. They also have location. They deliver to Fajardo and Rio Grande, and it's a really different system here though. So they have a bunch of street food. That's what they call it. Like you would think of like if you're having a food truck or a stand, but that doesn't have the additional tax. If you go sit down in a restaurant here in Puerto Rico, there is an additional tax that you pay. So like my mofongo, camarones is shrimp, by the way. I love seafood. So of course, Puerto Rico is a great place to be for seafood, right? But it was 12, so it's $12.99. And then I got a beverage, which was, I'm a firm, but if you're going in place in tropical, you should always get a juice of whatever local fruit they have. And so I got the tropical cherry. I was like, doesn't it have a cuter name than that? They're like, no, tropical cherry. And so, yeah, my meal was, probably $15. But by the time I paid my tax before my tip, we were like 21, something like that. I think it was like almost 22. And then I paid my tip. And why must I tip? Oh, let me tell you, outside of good manners, let me tell you, I was told specifically about Puerto Rico to expect really warm, kind-hearted individuals, right? I'm from the South, so I know we master like Southern hospitality. And truth be told, I've been a recluse since I've been here, for real, really. I'm sure people think I'm real rude, and I stand out because most people that I've seen are not as brown as me, and I have this very very Afrocentric hair, and it's green on the end. So yeah, I kind of stand out. So I'm sure they notice the fact that when I walk past people, I pretend like I don't see them because I don't want to say buenos dias. I don't want to say hola. I don't want to say buenos tardes. I don't want to remember what time of day it is to say buenos noches. I don't want to say anything. I really introvert alert. Hi. I really just want to go and sit on the water and relax. That has been my main goal, and I've been doing a great job of it. Outside of the guilt that I feel walking past bunches of people. So the only thing that I've had that's been my benefit is I have my mask on, but like I literally like pretend like I don't like they're all invisible. And I'm sure they're like, I know she American and I know she rude, but I'm just gonna let the American. Well, we're all American, but in general, we have a we have an image that projects around the world that we're rude and obnoxious by nature, but we all American here. So yeah. But when I went to La Fonda, I'm trying to tell you, I needed this vacation so badly. So before I came, my bag was too heavy, and I knew it. I just forgot. When you're traveling to Puerto Rico, your baggage has to be 40 pounds or less. If not, you pay like $35 more. But generally when you're traveling, you can have 50 pounds. And it's the same thing. You have to always think whenever you're traveling outside of the mainland, they are much more conscious about like burning up the gas that it takes to have more luggage. And it's not just an economical thing like it is on stateside. They charge you more because they want your money. Let's just be honest. But outside of that, like other cultures are much more concerned about the ecosystem, and so are very conscious about the fact that you don't need to be a glutton about stuff. And so they do it differently. So like when you're traveling from, like the first time I went from the US to England, I had a 50-pound bag. I got to England, and then I was flying from London to Paris. And I almost like wasn't able to get on the plane because my bag was too heavy. I had the regular, it was fine for US. It wasn't fine outside of the US. And so like I literally threw away, yeah, I literally threw away, like, I remember throwing away a travel iron and some other stuff, like in the airport, like literally just jumping things off so that I could get on the plane. So that's a thing everywhere else. So anyway, so before I left the airport, my bag was 2 pounds too heavy. So I dumped a bunch of stuff into the car. I went in, weighed it, came back out. They said 2 pounds too heavy. $30 for 2 pounds. It sounds excessive. So I dumped stuff out. So I dumped stuff out and I left a bunch of stuff. Like I just grabbed stuff. There was no manner of order to it. So I'd already left stuff. So then I get here and realize I left a bunch of stuff. I get to the airport. I give the address to my driver. He takes me to a location in San Juan. And I'm going to Luquillo. And I didn't know the difference to explain. So same address, 2 different cities. And then I get here only to realize after some time spending with Jonathan, my Uber driver. Hi, Jonathan. Finally got here, tired, ready to go. Because of the quarantine, they had the Friday before I came, so like literally the day before I got here, they initiated a new curfew. And so it went in effect the day before I got here. So 10 p.m. is the cutoff. So that meant the first night I got here, I had to go without dinner. And I left my phone in the taxi cab. Yeah. So, So anyway, so at this point, this is my mind going. I knew this was a sign that I really needed a vacation. So at this point, I'm meandering around. I'm going down the beach. I like to go. So I'm literally on the coast of Puerto Rico. So I'm just walking around and I end up like 2 beaches away. And that's when I found La Fonda. And so I was like, oh, well, great. I will sit down and have something to eat. I have my little travel fanny pack and I sit down and he was like, we're only taking cash right now. They take cash, PayPal, and Venmo. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I can do PayPal, although I have a Venmo account that I don't use. And so I sit down and I'm like, I went to reach in my bag. No phone because I'm on vacation, dog on it. And so I didn't have my phone was in the taxi cab and my work phone, which I have not been turning on, was back here in the room. And so ATN, just as sweet and kind. And we had a whole conversation about family that he has in Alexandria. And, he always jots back and forth and all that good stuff. And ATM was like, no problem. I trust you. Bring it back when you get back. I was like, I don't even say it. I stay out of the way. He said, it's okay. Here's the PayPal information. Just pay it. Can you see that ever happening in the US? I mean, I guess it could. I guess. But he was just so casual about it. Like, it's okay. No. Just send me back the money. So, of course, I sent a very nice tip to say, muchas gracias, ATN. Right? So, I wanted to give all of that to say, I wanted to give a little Socialidad business check-in shout out to La Fonda Gourmet. And they're located at 66, I forget how to say that, Sil Fernandez Garcia Luquillo. And that's 00773. Phone number 787-556-6022. Look them up online. Facebook, La Fonda Gourmet PR. LAFONDA GOURMET PR. They have a WhatsApp account and the whole 9. So I will be shouting their name for a while because mofongo camarones was and so basically it's plantain. If you think about like mashed potato, it looks like a hill, but it's plantain. And it had the shrimp underneath and it had like little peppers and things on the top. And it came with some sauce that reminded me of like special sauce for a Big Mac. Maybe Thousand Island dressing or something. I'm not sure. He said it was a special sauce that the locals will not eat it without. I had it on the side. I had a little bit of it because the mofongo was fine without it. Okay, all of that because I thoroughly enjoyed my food, fat food moments, and it was muy bueno. Okay, so not to make you all jealous, sorry that you're, not experiencing Puerto Rico for yourself, but you too can be here. Book your own trip. Okay. And so right now, of course, we want to share our time tool technique for the week. So as most of you know, especially as an entrepreneur, it's critical to be able to utilize video. So, and it's so critical. That's why I keep saying that you see everybody is joining in. Instagram has got their reels now. You always knew YouTube, right? Everywhere you look, you've got to get the video, right? TikTok, hooray! Oh, like all of it, all videos. And so our time tool technique for this week was done by none other than our own Christina of the Imagine Media Lab. Christina with a C. And so if you go check out the Imagine Media Lab Facebook page, you'll see our tech tip. And so what happens is every Tuesday, Christina does a tech tip. All right. And so I don't see any reason to like inundate you with a bunch of stuff when she's already giving you a lovely video. And this week's video for the time tool technique, the video is all about how to create cards for your YouTube channel. All right. So if you're doing videos and you're posting them onto YouTube, which I hope, I believe, I'm sure you all are, right? Right? Okay, I'm assuming that I'm right. And so at the end of each video, sometimes I told you I was in Puerto Rico, right? Can you hear the music? I am in Puerto Rico. That's what we get. And so at the end of each video, sometimes you'll see like you can click other videos, or you can subscribe, or you can do all kinds of things at the end of the video, see this information. Those are cards that you can place. And if you don't know how, then go visit the Imagine Media Lab on the Facebook post, and you'll be able to see how you could add your own cards. And so like, it's a really big deal, because think about it this way. You worked really hard to get someone to your video, to your page, and then you don't give them direction on where they can go next. So that means YouTube, in all of its grandeur, will always just show whatever is the next video. And so if you did a topic, if you were looking up, like I've been looking up doing business in Puerto Rico. So if the video I'm on doesn't give me a playlist and I'm not on that playlist, it just takes me to the next video that relates to my topic. And for you, that could be your competitor. Is that what you want? No, I say to thee, nay. Like any good horse, no. And so you should give them your playlist. You can have your playlist, and you can have like one of the options for your cards is a playlist. Like, so like all of the videos to WorkHARDAholics, there's a playlist, right? Or if there are videos that you've curated to say, here's a topic, you can create that playlist. And you can make an end card that will lead people to your playlist. Or it can be like a subscribe button. So if you want people to subscribe to your channel, they could click another video. Or you have options on, like, you can let YouTube pick the video from your list of videos. So they're all a bunch of options that are available to you. But she's giving you the video to help you figure out how to do it. And so I hear people all the time going, well, I don't know how. Okay, well then go learn. And Christina made it really simple. It's like a 5-minute video. It's not even that long, but very informative. So you all can go figure out how to do just that. And I highly recommend it. Okay, so this is what I get for I'm multitasking, and I probably shouldn't be, because I'm a workaholic. Okay. So, yes. Hello, Kimberly. Kimberly gave us a shout out. Yes, we took the microphone with us to Puerto Rico, because as promised, I said this week I was only doing 2 things. And one, I had class for Entrepreneur Academy. We had that on Sunday. And then 2, or should I say dos, I said we were going to do the show. And then after that, back to vacacion for me. Muchas gracias, all the same. That's the game plan, and we're going to stick to it. And our time is almost up, which is amazing. Can you believe it? Why, thank you all. Thank you all very much. I'm reading through the comments. Y'all know I can't help it some days. Yes, having an amazing time. I clearly needed a vacation, and I clearly actually need a longer vacation, but I won't do that to you all just yet. Okay. So I told you I'm just over here going through. I almost heard that. So what we're gonna have next, we're talking about our time tool technique. I actually now I want to just take a moment. I feel like one of those songs, you know, when they start, they get all bassy and they talk to you. I just want to share a moment and let you all know that I don't have the bass. I don't have the and then again, I'm not supposed to. I will leave that to the true tenors. That's not I. But really though, right now is a great moment to just sit back. This is a hammock next to me, and yes, I have used it. It's an amazing experience. I just want to have a moment with you all to share with you about work hard, play harder. This is how much I love Puerto Rico. There is an organization here called Parallel 18, and they work with business owners who are looking to move their businesses to Puerto Rico. And so their hashtag, their theme is work hard, tropical. No, work hard, play tropical. No one else feel the excitement? I thought that was really. I was just like, oh my God, I love that. Because, you know, we're work hard, play harder, right? But they're work hard, play tropical. I was like, ooh. Okay, I'll be excited about that on my own. So if you all see, like I'm sharing, this is a picture I took here in Luquillo. It's actually down the street from, it's like half the block away from where I am. And so here's the thing. As an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a community activist, as a mother, as a parent, as a elder caregiver, whatever the functions you have in life, and there's so many of them. I didn't realize, like even now, I knew I was aware that I needed a vacation. I was very aware, but I wasn't aware of like how much I needed it, like to the full extent of how much pressure and stress I was carrying around. And as a workaholic, like I still had lists. So even when I'm vacationing, I still had the list to say, okay, from the beach, I knew I wanted to go in both directions, like as far as I could logistically go safely. And so I knew that could be like miles. I knew that like I just set these, like I set goals about stuff that doesn't necessarily need a goal. But then I also spent a lot of time, I was really thinking about the fact that how much I think about like what other people are thinking, right? And what a waste. And so I've just had like, I've been here for 3 days. What's today, Wednesday? I got here Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Dog, really? I've been 5 days. Wow. I know, right? Who knew? Maybe that's why I'm just starting to feel like mellow. I want to share with you all. So we talk about work hard, play harder, and I have like a crazy work ethic. I do. It's absolutely insane. Monday, which is part of the reason why I think God made me leave my phone in the taxi cab. And because otherwise I might have been tempted to respond to some of you all, and that was not supposed to happen. And so Monday, yeah, because I've been Saturday, Sunday. Monday, I designated as I was shutting everything off day. So on Monday, I turned off my laptop. I turned off all of these gadgets, everything, phone, everything was shut off. Like I didn't turn on a thing. Whatever it was, I had it off. and TV and everything. I was like, we're not doing anything. We're going to enjoy our lives. How many of you all know how to entertain yourself without electronics? A book would do it. A book would be an amazing thing. A book would be allowed. But if you're like I am, even my book is on my Kindle. Although you were happy to purchase either of my books. Thank you for that reminder. Yeah. So a book for I'm in the midst of a tropical paradise, right? Why should I be sitting inside? And here it is. I recognize that we're all masked up. And I am. I've been wearing my mask wherever I go, because although I got a negative report for COVID when I left, I don't want to return having a positive one. And so, like, but go into your yard, play a board game with your kids, read a book, write a book. There's so much of life that we can experience and enjoy. And so when we're talking about like work hard, play harder, it doesn't mean that you can't be like on it. Like I consider myself with my work to be like eagle-eyed. Like I'm looking for the smallest details, all the information, but relax already. Have a moment that you designate just for you, just for your sanity, just for your peace. Like even looking at that picture, it makes my heart happy. It makes my heart even happier when I just go out and look outside the door and see it. But you get the point. So you might not have a palm tree where you are, but you have something you can work with. What brings you peace? What brings you joy? I asked these questions before. I'm asking again. Like, what brings you happiness? What makes you happy? What can you enjoy? Go do it. You don't have to wait for permission. You don't have to wait until it's like, oh, I can't relax until I go to Puerto Rico. I can't relax until we go to Disney, which is not relaxing anyway. I can't do it until there's vacation. Yes, you can. Designate what you need. And here's the thing. I hear people complaining about their bosses, right? And I still feel empathetic, even though, I'm like, go start your own. But outside of that, I can fully appreciate that. We're concerned about like our bosses and taking care of the needs of those who are around about us. I got it. End of the day, you decide how people treat you. Like for real. You decide what you allow and what you don't allow. Like no one has that kind of power over you. At the end of the day, what you accept is what you receive. And I'm not saying it doesn't mean that you sometimes we have to suck it up. We hope it's temporary, right? So if you're at a job that you hate, but you can't find another one yet, then that means that you're working hard and looking for another one. I mean, that's the reality of it. And so when we talk about like work hard, play harder, yes, always got to do the business better. And so just because you don't have this situation, you're always like, well, if I was Shirley, I could do that. You don't know what Shirley had to go through to do what she had to do. But we all have our priorities. And so for some of you, like shopping might be your thing. And that's not a gender thing. Like for a guy, it might be if I can, whenever I can buy myself that nice watch. Guys and their watches, I don't get it. But hey. Like I can buy that nice watch that I will feel accomplished. And then every day when I look at that watch while I'm at work, it makes me feel like it was all worth it. Or if you're a lady and you're all into the red bottoms, okay. Or the nice Coach bag or Gucci or whatever else you're into. If that's what excites you, no one's trying to judge that. Some people will say, well, that's materialistic. If that's what your time has value. And so if you can look at that bag every day and say, that was my time investment and it was worth it, then kudos to you. That's all that matters. But you all need, there has to be something. So for me, as I said, you've all heard me say it like a billion times over, the work hard part I got. So before I allowed myself to leave, the week leading up to my vacation, I was at the office every night except for one where I just really just couldn't bother. I left one night at what, like 6? No. I left at like 3 o'clock one day, like 3 or 4. I was just like, I can't. I'm tired. I need to be on vacation. I gotta go. And I went and regrouped. But outside of that, I was at the office either at 10:30 p.m. or midnight every night leading up to vacation, because I promised everyone there that they weren't going to get a response out of me. I wasn't going to do anything. I did answer like a couple of emails the other day for things that I knew were kind of out there. But outside of that, I have not called the office. I'm not checking into the office. I'm assuming it's still standing because the Imagine Media Lab is still standing.
Dun, dun, dun.
So it's got to still be there.
At least half of it.
See, that's what they can survive without you, and they will. Really, they will. So in this moment of work hard, play harder, I hope that right now, like here, it is a balmy 80 something. 80 something. I don't. Sorry, I can hear my own voice playing. And so here's the deal. You don't have to wait for summer to take a break. You don't have to wait for anything. Like, grab your kids, go to Maymont Park if you're in Richmond. There are all these commercials. Yeah, if y'all didn't know, if I didn't do business, I would have done marketing. I love a good commercial and the messages they offer. So there are various commercials. Don't ask me who they're for. And they're doing all these staycations inside their house. And so they're setting up for an igloo, and they're setting up a tent, and they're setting up like fire. Like, they're setting all kinds of stuff. And I've seen some things on YouTube as well, telling people how to decorate their kitchen, like a golf course and like all kinds of things. With a little creativity, you can make your home into a vacation wonderland. So there are no excuses. I often, people always like, I can't. You can, you could, you would, you should, but will you? That's always the question. Okay, so my lecture's over, I promise. It's just that I sincerely desire for each of you to live a life of prosperity and health, wisdom and wealth. Like, that's what I want for you. And so however you measure your success, I want you to have it. But a lot of times you have to take you out of the equation. You have to stop being the cog in the wheel that's preventing you from moving forward because you don't think you're worth it. Then that's what you're projecting to everyone else. And you are worth it. You are worth Puerto Rico or wherever it is you want to go. Because really, my original goal was to go to Brazil, but they're having a few concerns with the pandemic. Prayers and my heart go out to Brazil. I hope to one day see you all, thriving and well. But in the meantime, I came to Puerto Rico, which is like an ingenious idea because, it's still the U.S.
Definitely.
But I had to go past Haiti and the DR to get here, which I felt a little bad about because I need to go to Haiti. Okay, now that I digress. All right, people. We're about to wrap this party up. Thank you all for hanging out with us once again for WorkHARDaholics. I'm just checking over here. Thank you. Okay, I was going to look at the comments and comment back, but my screen is not allowing it. It's probably because it's saying, Shirley.
I can read it to you.
Oh, well, okay. Can you read them so everyone can hear them, or am I just going to hear them?
Yeah, everyone can hear me. So we've got Kimberly says she needs a vacation badly too. Work hard, play tropical. She loved it. Whoop whoop.
Ooh, yeah, that's great.
She loved the information on the YouTube video. And she was shocked that you took a microphone to Puerto Rico. You are a true workaholic.
Yes, indeed. We'll work, baby.
Martha says, I hope you're having big fun.
Thank you, Martha, for holding it down.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so normally at this point, we will let you know what's coming up, what's going on. I have no idea. I am truly in vacation mode. I have no idea what's going on back at the office right now. No, no whatsoever.
And neither will I bother you with that information.
Okay, good for me. But I'll be back there. And for the I won't be back. I'll be back in the office week after next. So we'll be back again with the show on next Wednesday, but we'll be doing it again remotely. I will not be back in the office. FYI, for those of you who are considering traveling, so I can share this little tidbit with you all before I sign off and say, goodbye and all that good stuff. So one of the things that the CDC has recommended that before you travel, that you take, if you haven't gotten the vaccine, even if you've taken the vaccines, they still require that you be tested to see if you have COVID, because you can have COVID and after taking the vaccine just prevents you from getting deathly sick from it. Doesn't prevent you from getting it. Two different things. So you have to take your test, and it cannot be the rapid test. It has to be the blah, blah, blah test, the longer one. And so I know for me that they did the swab, and I've had the test 3 times now, and this was probably the worst one I've ever had. I felt that swab like in my throat, and I'm not being facetious, because you are aware that your nose and throat are connected. I could feel it all the way back here. Like she was going for gold. She was going to make sure she knew for sure. You have to have the test done 3 days before you leave. When you get onto the plane, there are QR codes that you can scan to see what the requirements are for the place that you're going. And so you can actually look it up online in advance. Most countries, most places have a health certificate you're supposed to fill out. And most airlines won't even let you check in until you have completed the health document. And it's real basic. It just says that you haven't come in contact with anyone, that you aren't sick, that you've taken the test. It asks you for documentation of where you took the test. And if you haven't taken it, or if you are waiting, then if you haven't taken it, you're requested to quarantine for 14 days or for the extent of your trip until you've either taken the test or gotten your results. In addition to that, so there's that quarantine. Now, in most of the airports, they also have testing. So like when I got to Puerto Rico, I could have taken a test when I got here. Generally speaking, testing is about $100, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. But I had already done my test. And then the requirement is, since I'm in the U.S., the U.S. will not keep me out of the U.S. Although being held hostage in Puerto Rico doesn't sound that bad. But because I'm a U.S. citizen, I'm still in the U.S., and the U.S. has to let me back into the mainland. But the CDC requests that I take another test when I get back and then quarantine for a week. Generally speaking, the swab, you get your results back within 3 days. You get it back within 3 days. So I took it on 3 business days. The weekend is not included. So I took mine on Thursday, Friday, Monday. Although really I got mine back on Tuesday. Now that I think about it, they were a little bit behind. No, they called me on Monday. I called back on Tuesday. So that's just part of the process. For those of you who are considering traveling, something else to note is that from all the studies and information, I thought being on an airplane would be the worst place to be for your health. According to what I've read, it's actually one of the most filtrated places that you could possibly be. I don't know if that only works when it's in flight, but apparently, like I flew Spirit to get here, and they have a HEPA filtration system, very much like the air sterilizers, and it purifies the air every 2.5 minutes. So flying is actually supposed to be really hypoallergenic and all that good stuff. All right, so just sharing that little tidbit for you. And as we always say, we hope that you will live better, do better, be better, and happy entrepreneuring from Puerto Rico. Adios, hasta luego. Bye-bye.
Let Socialita help your business stand out from the crowd by building your brand success through social media management. We're located at 1510 Willowlawn Drive, Suite 100. Our website is www.socialitarva.com. You can also give us a call at 804-484-2001. Again, Socialita.
Imagine Media Lab, in partnership with the Women's Business Center, offers hourly rental to a multimedia studio. Create or edit digital assets for marketing. Record that podcast you've always wanted to start. Voiceovers and live stream. All equipment and software is included in your hourly rental. Located at the Women's Business Center, 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100. ImagineMediaLabs.com. Book your session today.